Hello there and welcome back to my channel, or of course if you're new, welcome to my channel. My name is Alex and I post 3 beauty related videos every single week. So if those are the types of videos you like to watch, then make sure you hit that subscribe button and also put the notification bell on so you're notified every single time that I upload. For today's video, as you can tell by the title, we are testing out Revolution and Patricia Bright's collab. Basically, I wasn't actually intending on getting this collab just because I thought £20 for a Revolution eyeshadow palette I thought was like a bit much, considering their other collabs are like a tenner, and the same goes for the Alexis Stone collection, that's also £20. So yeah, I wasn't actually intending on buying this palette, but basically I had an ASOS voucher for £15 luckily, so I basically paid a £5 for this palette. And then if you'd have seen my Superdrug haul, which I'll link in the cards, I did also pick up one of her face palettes because I saw it in the shop and I just thought it was really beautiful. So today you're getting an eyeshadow palette and a face palette review, so let's get started. So these are both the palettes. This is the packaging. I absolutely love the packaging, just like pink and black, white and black, really simple. I just love it, it's really cute. This palette is huge, by the way, like this is size comparison to my head, so I get kind of why it's more expensive, because the palette is huge. Their usual collab palettes are much smaller than this, and this is the face palette, which is obviously much smaller, but you get a blush, a contour and a highlight in it, so obviously we're going to be doing that today as well. Firstly, I just want to dive into the face palette. So the packaging just looks like this. I will say this palette costs £8, so again it is more on the pricier side, but we'll see if it's worth the money. It is a collab palette after all, so they do have to make their money somehow, but the packaging is exactly the same on the actual product itself. It is tin packaging, which I really like. I love their Forever Flawless palettes because they're just the tin packaging. And I got mine in the shade Moonlight Glow, which is the lightest of them all. I can't remember how many face palettes they have. They have at least 3 or 4. So there is a few for people to choose from depending on your skin tone. So each palette comes with a blush, a contour and a highlight, and it also has a cute little mirror here, which is really nice, and I'll just show you that up close. It's brilliant. Just got my finger in it. It's so hard to hold a tiny palette. So this is what the palette looks like. You have the 3 little products there, and yeah, it just, there's kind of a pattern on it, like a kind of a 3D pattern. I don't know, you can definitely see that, which is really cute. I do like this. It's really cute and compact, tiny. That's the face palette. We're going to move on to the eyeshadow palette. So she did come out with 2 eyeshadow palettes, but obviously I only bought 1. She come out with Rich in Life and Rich in Colour. I picked up Rich in Life just because I have got so many colourful eyeshadow palettes in my collection that I just physically don't need anymore. And when I saw, sorry I mention her so much, but when I saw Make Me Up Mrs. video when she was reviewing the Rich in Life palette, I was like, wow, okay, that is actually really stunning. I need it in my life. So anyway, this is what the palette looks like. Literally, again, the exact same as the packaging. It's freaking huge. And if I just get inside, it's exactly the same, by the way. Same tin packaging. First of all, you get a huge mirror in here, which is just crazy. And this is what the palette looks like. So it is a stunning neutrals palette with pops of colour in. I do really like the colour story. If I just show you that up close, that's what it looks like. So yeah, you've just got this row up here and this row is all neutrals, and then you have some neutral shivers, and then this is where you start to get your pops of colour down here. So I really do like the layout of this palette, I must admit. It is more on the expensive side, but we'll see if it's worth it. So we're going to start off with the face palette. It is really cute. I actually love how tiny it is. We are going to do some contouring, so I'm just going to take the middle shade first, this one here, And I'm going to grab my contour brush. Oh my god. And let's see if this is a good contour powder. Okay, so this is the contour all on. I must say that is kind of like a perfect contour colour for me. If you've got similar skin tone to me, then you'll really like the Moonlight Glow palette. The contour shade is pretty much perfect. So now I'm going to take the highlighter in the palette. There is kickback with it. Now I don't expect anything less from Revolution. Their highlights are bomb, so let's hope that this is. So this is the highlighter. I hope you can see that in this really poor lighting. But if I'm honest, it's not the best highlighter that Revolution have. It definitely took a little bit of building up. I don't know if that's just because it's the top layer and you have to get through the top layer to get full pigmentation. But it's definitely there. Like, I'm not saying it's a really bad highlighter. I can definitely see it. It's a really good shade for fair skin. It just wasn't the most pigmented Revolution highlighter, because I've definitely got ones in my collection that are much more pigmented than that. But it is a stunning shade for my skin tone, so it's not too bad. Let's move on to the blush. Now I'm really excited for this blush because that is like a beautiful peachy toned blush. I love it. So again, there's a little bit of fallout. As always, I think I put a bit too much on, but that always happens. So I've blended it out so it looks really nice. The shade is very pigmented, so only take a tiny bit because you will end up going from 0 to 100 in 2 seconds. So guys, that is the face palette. I'll obviously give you my final thoughts at the very end, but now we need to dive in to the eyeshadow palette. So this is the eyeshadow palette. As always, I'm going to dive into some swatches before we get into the actual eye look. So let's get started. So this is the first 2 rows, and oh my god, it is so pigmented. This shade here is a foil and it's beautiful. The one next to it is a pink. You can't really see it, but that shade is a literal cream eyeshadow. Like, that formula is nothing like I've felt before. So as you can see, it's very neutral tones. There is a really pigmented black as well. Oh my god, guys, this is the 2 bottom rows swatched, and I think I kind of understand why it's so much more expensive. These 5 shades here are like all the foil formula. Like, it is unreal. Every shade in this palette has been so pigmented. The only one that's kind of disappointed me is this green here. It's not the most pigmented green, but I'm so impressed with these swatches. So guys, that's all the swatches of this palette. Safe to say that I'm so impressed with the swatches in this. I kind of get why it's more expensive now, and I cannot wait to use this on my eyes. So let's dive on into the eye look. So I'm going to throw the palette up on screen and point to the colours like that because the palette is so big. It's going to take me ages to... I'm just being really lazy. Basically, the shades will be shown on the screen that I'm using. So, as I said, I'm trying a new style today. Basically, it's kind of a different take on like a halo eye or a spotlight eye, if you like. Instead of applying the shadow like all across the crease and then putting the shimmer in the middle, you only apply the shades to the either corner of your eye, and you leave the whole of the middle of your lid free for the shimmer. So that's the plan for today. Let's get started. So I'm going to take the shade Jet Setter, which is a dark brown, and there is a lot of kickback in the pan, and I'm just going to start off by stamping that on my outer corner. Okay, so now we've added the main colour that's going to give us depth. I'm just going to leave it there because I can always go back and deepen them up. So we're going to move on to the next shade, which is gonna go just literally the tiniest a bit above this shade to blend it out. So I'm gonna take the shade Booked and Busy, and as I said, I'm literally just going to put it basically at the top of where I put that brown. And I understand it looks so crazy right now, but trust me, when it's finished it will look really good. And just doing the same for the inner portion of the eye. Okay, so now we've put that shade down, we now need to take a much lighter shade to blend out the top edges so it looks really nice and seamless. So I'm gonna just take a soft blending brush. This is literally like a mermaid brush from eBay, and I'm gonna just start off with the shade Biggest Fan, which is just an orangey toned neutral, and I'm gonna start blending out the top edge. And remember, don't go into the middle part of the lid because that's all for the shimmer. Okay, so I'm struggling to blend that shade out a little bit, so I'm going to take the shade Workaholic instead, which is kind of the same tone, just a little bit lighter. And this technique is literally all about blending that all the shades together, so make sure there's like no harsh lines. So if you have to go back in with the other shades and stuff just to reblend it, then definitely do that, because I see myself doing that every time. And the technique that I've done is like to sort of pat the shade in rather than blend it. I feel like this is a really easy way for the shades to all blend together, so definitely tap it instead of blending it, and then when you go in with the top shade, then that's when you can blend it out. So once I've spent the time blending these out, I do find that I lose the brown shade in my in the bottom corners of my eyes, so I go back in with a brush, and I am going to take the shade Stargirl, which is the black, and I'm going to tap that off, and I'm just going to put that where the brown is. I'm not going to go too high up with these just because it's very pigmented and I don't need to put that much in there. It's just to fill the gap in a little bit. Okay, so now we've blended out all the shades and put them down. As you can see, we have that huge gap in the middle of our lid. This is where just the shimmer that we're putting in the middle of our lid is going. There's going to be no shade above it or anything like that. It's just going to be one strip of shimmer down the middle, and I really like this technique. I have done it before with a blue look that I did recently. I've uploaded a TikTok on it and I'm yet to put the photo on Instagram, so make sure you follow me on my socials. They're always linked in the description if you want to see more looks from me. There are some beautiful, oh, you can bend the palette back like this. I didn't even notice that. I just hit myself with it. Oh my god. Anyway, you can bend the palette back like this. That's so fascinating. I actually love that. So for shimmer, I want to take that Diamonds for Breakfast shade. I might go in with a lighter shimmer over the top, but we shall see. So I'm going to take my absolute favourite shimmer brush in the whole world, if I can find it. Here we go. And it is the Jessup 237 Detail Shader. I have raved about these brushes before. If you're looking for an affordable eye brush set that are really good quality, then definitely pick these up. They're on Amazon, I believe, for £15, and you get a lot of eye brushes. So just a little bit of a recommendation for you. So yeah, I'm going to take that Diamond for Breakfast shade on the brush, and I'm going to be really careful to only put it in the middle of my lid. Okay, that shade is a foil and I can't apply it with a brush properly because the foils need your finger, and I don't trust myself using my finger to put a foil in the middle of my lid. So I just went ahead and put the shade Darlings on top just because that was more of a normal shimmer formula, so it made it easier to put the shade down. Anyway, we're going to move on to the lash line, and I think I'm going to use that orange shade, which is Try Me, just to start off with, and then I'll deepen it up with another shade. And just on the outer portion of my lower lash line, I'm going to put the shade No Drama. So for my inner corner, I'm just going to take the shade Darlings because it's the lightest shimmer in the palette. Right, so I've done all the eye makeup. I'm going to go off camera, put some lashes and mascara on, and I'll be right back. Right guys, so I'm back. This is the finished look. My lashes were kindly gifted to me by We Love Lashes. They've sent me lashes before and they kindly asked if I wanted to try some of the Sosu lashes. This video is not sponsored, they literally just gifted them to me. So they gifted the style Brooke, Katie and Lucy. I've got Lucy on my eyes at the minute. The style is really different for me. I'll obviously show you when I come up close to the camera. But the other styles, Katie and Brooke, are more of your fluffy lashes. So these are currently sold in Primark, I believe, and obviously you can buy them from We Love Lashes. We Love Lashes have so many lashes on that website, like even the XO Beauty ones, which is ShanXO's brand here on the YouTube, and they also sent me a Dura lash glue, which is something I've been needing to pick up for ages, so that saved me buying it myself. So this is the finished look. Sorry, and on my lips I've got the Jouer lip cream, I believe it might be them. I can't even remember what formula this is. It's in the shade Terra with an A. Don't know if it's still available because some of the shades are limited edition. But anyway, this is the finished look. Obviously it's very different from my normal style. I really enjoy this just because it's so unique and different. Let me know what you think down below. I know it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but I do like to mix it up here on YouTube, so I thought I'd try that today. Let me know what you think of this look. So let's move on to my final thoughts. So let's start off with the face palette. So as I said, this is £8, which is obviously not the most affordable face palette, but considering you get your contour shade, your blush and your highlight in this beautiful packaging, it's very compact. Just chuck it in your handbag or in your travel case. This is very travel friendly as well. And I do actually think it's worth the money. I really enjoy this. I'm going to start using it on pretty much an everyday basis because I love palettes like this for work and stuff, because it's really easy. Instead of having to get like 3 different products out, I can just pick this up and it'll be 3 steps of my makeup done. So I do really like this palette. I do recommend it. The only thing about it is that the highlighter wasn't the best highlighter formula I've tried from Revolution, but it's not terrible, so I do really like this. So this is the Rich in Life palette. I am so impressed with this. This is probably one of my favourite palettes that Revolution have ever done, and here is why. So the fact that you get a lot of foils in this palette just shows that this is why it's more expensive. The foil formula is definitely the best formula that Revolution do. It is so pigmented and amazing. I love it so much. Not only that, the mattes in this palette are so so pigmented. There was only that one green shade that swatched a little bit meh, but all the rest of them swatched for me were amazing. And you can see the eye look on my eyes right now, like it is so beautiful. The mattes are incredible, they blend out so easy. Like I know it's difficult to put one shade, like the dark shade, down and then blend that out to light, but these shadows make it so easy. You just have to sit there and blend it for a little bit, and it just takes hardly any effort. I'm really pleased with it. Obviously I didn't get to play with the pops of colour today. I did kind of stick to the neutrally look today, which I actually really enjoyed. I take back everything I said on my Instagram about this price, because at first I was really taken back with the price, because £20 for an eyeshadow palette from Revolution I think is so expensive, considering Morphe palettes like £23, and they're Morphe are not really classed as drugstore, they're more in between high-end and drugstore, but Revolution is known for being an affordable brand. So when they come out with a £20 palette, I was really shocked. But now that I've played with it, I'm using it today, it's in front of me, I can understand why it's so expensive. And if you were like me and thought I'm no way paying for a £20 palette, like that is ridiculous, it is definitely worth the money. Even though I didn't pay the full price for it because I had a voucher, it is definitely worth the money. This is incredible. This is gonna have to be one of my favourite Revolution palettes that they've ever come out with. You can't beat So Extra Spice because it's just one of my faves. I love So, that palette will always be my favourite Revolution palette. But this is probably my second favourite Revolution palette, and I've only played with this once and I can already say that. So if that doesn't convince you to get this palette, obviously I don't know what the Rich in Colour one is like, I assume it is exactly the same formulas and stuff. If you don't really like a lot of pops of colour, then this one might be better suited to you anyway. Even the feel of these shadows, like when you feel them, they're so creamy, they're like not dry, or the shimmers are not pigmented or anything. Like every single shade in this palette that I tried today was freaking amazing, and I'm so impressed. So I think I'm going to leave that here today because I've been rambling way too much. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a massive thumbs up. Let me know down below what you think of this look that I come up with today, and what do you think of this palette? Like, do you think it's too expensive? If you've got it, what do you think of it? I'd love to know. I love to chat to you guys. I always reply to every single comment left on my videos because I just love to chat to you. And of course, please subscribe down below, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!